So basically, the true test of intelligence is when an idea that you propose is actually made to be incorrect with evidence. An intelligent person simply learns from it, and the ones who react and defend become the bluster of the world. What do you think we have more of them today? Well, the bluster who don't want to change their mind even though the evidence is abundantly clear they were wrong. Nobody can admit they were wrong. They just can't fathom the possibility that they were wrong. And that leads to a lot of other trouble. So, we want to talk to intelligent people. That should lighten the wagon just a bit, and now we can proceed. You know, maybe it starts with how kids are raised. When you're a kid, you're told no a lot. No, don't do that. And somewhere along the way, you get the idea that you can't be told no anymore. I don't know, maybe when you get your car, you get your first job, bosses tell you to do things all the time. But if you enter the world on third base, then you're not told no often enough. And that's the real problem, is that there are a lot of people right now, probably most in history, that showed up on third base. It's just a fact. Doesn't matter that you and me might be in the dugout, not even in the lineup. There's a lot of people, a lot of entities that showed up on third base. And they don't like to be told no. And that's the whole problem. If you're always right, it wouldn't be a problem. But nobody's always right. Just because you're born on third base doesn't mean that you won't be told no. That's a word we've got to learn. We've got to learn how to say no. That involves being mature. Only the parent can say no. Well, the child can say no too, but it's an empty no. It's a rebellious yell. It has no power behind it, because he will do what he was told. Same with anybody else that's not born on third base. There's a lot of people that have to eat a lot of stuff just to get through the day. They have to be told a lot of things they don't like, but when they get on their own time, nobody tells them anything. And then they have children who were never told no in the first place. Sure as hell ain't gonna be you. But could the problem be that we don't even talk to people really face to face that much anymore? The ones we do talk to face are superficial arrangements, little polite parties, and we're not going to say the truth there for sure. But we do go online and we can say anything. You can call the guy an idiot because you didn't like what he was saying. You don't even take time to analyze what he was saying. You just detected enough that it was against what you thought was true. So you lambast him, and you can get fancy on comments because nobody sees you. Who the hell knows who you are? And we become emboldened in our thinking, and we become argumentative, and even in the few times when we might actually meet a person, we're still argumentative. It boils down to, you're going to have to, if you expect to be treated with justice, you're going to have to offer it. Wow, not sure a lot of people are willing to do that. You don't get anything for nothing in this world. You don't get something for nothing. And I can assure you of that. Does that mean that there's no charity? Of course there's charity. There's suffering involved to receive the charity. You don't get something for nothing. You get exactly what you put out. Sometimes you get a boomerang effect or a multiplier effect. Well, you always get what you put out will at least come back to even. That's a universal law. Oh, we're not talking about Stoics. It's universal law, man. Who cares what you call a guy that's talking about universal law? It's how the only way you can navigate this existence is understand that there might be some real laws and they probably should be obeyed. The others you have to. So it's a burden of having to live under two tyrants, the actual law and the pretense law, that sometimes has no bounds. In seeking freedom and absolute freedom, we have to basically destroy it. But one thing that we should have said was no. If we had just said no in unison in 1950, 1960, many times throughout the decades, there were opportunities for us to say no. But we didn't, because we got distracted. And now we've become a people who don't analyze things at all. We have our opinion, and it's never going to change. Well, actually, opinions will at some point always change to reality. But that's a dusty, bitten road, I assure you. But it is refreshing that people are beginning to see they may have to say no. And sometimes all it takes is a simple no. In my own community, I've seen it happen. Some property gets put for rezoning and people show up and it doesn't happen. Apathy was their best friend, the people who expected not to be told no. Perhaps they've already been assured of a yes by some means or other. Seems to be the way the world works. We expect it. We assume that hands are greased and palms greased when things happen. It's understood, but we shouldn't have ever let that be the norm. So saying no sometimes is the best way to eventually say yes when you finally get things a little better. But you should never be satisfied. We don't want that. We want the quick answers, easy answers, and if it doesn't affect right now, it doesn't affect anything at all. Got to stop thinking about just right now, and conversely, that's all you really need to think about. It's the mystery of the universe. But you got to learn to be at peace with right now, and you got to learn to sometimes reason is not heard, but you should never be happy about that, no matter what the circumstances, because one day the unreasonable thing might be happening to you. You've heard it said that the meek shall inherit the earth. A lot of us don't understand what that really means. But the meek they speak of, these meek ones that inherit the earth, possess much might, much mercy, and much compassion. It's a matter of being strong, but not being brutal, having mercy, making the others strong. Basically, being a decent person. A decent person.